On a June night in 1980, Friday the 13th, 12 of her friends were murdered. Why should Friday the 13th, 1981 be any different?
All right, welcome losers to the Perfect Movie Podcast. This shit.
Came in aggressive as fuck.
I'm just kidding. I mean, welcome to the Perfect Movie Podcast, the podcast where we answer the question, is this a perfect movie? I'm Michael.
Caitlin.
And this week we're answering the question about A Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, Part 2. Guess what? I didn't like either of these movies.
These movies suck ass. Is that why you're upset?
Well, also because we are on our third start of the podcast, and look, I'm just not doing well this morning. God damn! I watched both these movies yesterday. I didn't enjoy my time with really either of them. I kind of just wanted to shut them off, but guess what? I assigned myself some homework. We had a plan. We were like, hey, we're going to watch these classic horror movies. We haven't seen some of these. Look, Freddy and Jason, they're a big deal. They even had a crossover movie.
Didn't watch that either.
These are famous icons of the horror genre. Let's watch their movies. We chose Friday because that's where we introduced Freddy Krueger.
Nightmare.
A Nightmare on Friday on Freddy. Okay. Yes, Friday because Part 2 because that's when we introduced Jason. Nightmare. It's the first time we see Freddy Krueger.
But I was fucking disappointed because he didn't even wear his hockey mask in this one.
No, he doesn't wear the hockey mask till the third movie.
What?
Yeah.
That is fucking
I was trying to
stupid.
tell you. There's like 11 Friday movies or something at this point. Okay. And it takks a long time to ramp up.
He literally just wore a potato sack, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
All I could think of was that, was the Not Inglourious Bastards, the Django Unchained scene where they're like...
Oh, the KKK or whatever?
Yes. Yeah. Where they're like, I don't know about y'all, but I can't see shit.
Is Jason racist? That's the question.
Is Jason... Yes. Probably. He doesn't like people in general.
Let's get to it, though.
Yeah. All right, so the first movie we're going to talk about is Nightmare on Elm Street, directed by Wes Craven. We were just raving about a Wes Craven movie last week in Scream.
Yeah.
So I was excited about this. I watched this one first because I thought, wow, this is probably going to be a good movie. Nope.
Boy, were we wrong.
Look, I don't want to actually completely trash it. I can squint my eyes and time travel a bit and think of a version of this movie that people thought was scary, like an audience in 1984 that thinks this movie is scary and entertaining and puts them on edge. But boy, was I bored.
Yeah, it's hard to watch this now. It's kind of mind-blowing how bad it is. But it's crazy because this one has a 96% score on Rotten Tomatoes. So people love it. I don't really see the appeal at all.
It's regarded as a classic, 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't really know. I actually do get it. So you know what? The connection that I made, and I guess, I don't know. We might have to blow up our outline just because I don't really know what there's going to be a lot of hating throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, I will say that this movie definitely has inspired movies that I enjoy a lot.
Sure.
I specifically thought of It Follows. Have you seen that?
Yes.
That is a movie that's eating off Nightmare on Elm Street's plate 1,000%.
Yeah. We should have watched that.
Yeah, we should have watched a different movie, but with the synth soundtrack,
Yep.
with the like teens running away from a existential psychological thing.
The whole like the girl can only see him kind of thing, and she's trying to get everybody else on board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the way that at the end they just booby trap. She tries to like booby trap her way into defeating the enemy. They do
Tries to
that
Home
and it
Alone
follows.
that shit. Yeah.
Like it's almost like that movie. I didn't realize at the time how much that movie was eating off the plate of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
But so I can imagine me reacting to this movie that's aping Nightmare and thinking it's a good movie. Audiences where this is all new ideas and like new, like it's completely new to them.
Right.
Freddy's didn't exist before. Instead of Freddy Krueger being this thing that we all know about, even if we haven't watched these movies.
Right.
That it's a scarier concept and it's like a...
Yeah. I think there was just a lot of stuff that really drew me out of the experience. Like, I mean, we could save this for the It's an Art, but I guess we're just kind of all over the place with this. The music was so off-putting. Holy shit.
I know.
It's like, what the fuck was that?
It was like some of the stuff felt kind of like atmospheric, but when the like action would happen, it, like a beat would kick in and it would make me want to dance.
Yeah, it would like remove any tension that was going on. Like as soon as Freddy would pop up, it would be like ding 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 ding. Like what the fuck was that shit? Like who was behind that idea? I don't know. But it felt really 80s. I guess I could appreciate that because I love that type of music. So it was fine, but it just really drew me out of the experience.
Well, I think it was like they're trying to do a John Carpenter thing where
Right.
they do the like synth soundtrack.
Yeah.
But the execution is just... ugh.
And then it would cut off really abruptly. If like I remember there was a scene where she was running from him and then she opens the door and she slams it and the music just cuts in the most awkward spot. It was super jarring.
I mean, I kind of like that. I actually kind of like that moment, but I didn't like the song. Like, it was like, oh, thank God the song's done.
Yeah.
Like, please shut that off.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Let's actually... Oh, yeah, I spiked my phone on the floor at the beginning. Let's move on to the performance test.
It was the performance of a lifetime!
The performance test is where we talk about our favorite performances, actors, characters, and moments. I guess the guy that stands out, for better or for worse,
Robert
is-
Englund.
Yeah, as Freddy.
Yeah.
He does like all the sequels, I think, up until they like rebooted it in the 2010s and recast it.
And then it was the guy who played Rorschach in Watchmen. I forget his name, but he's got a real distinct voice. But yeah, he was in the reboot or whatever.
But I guess it's like, this is a character that he's owned for like a few decades. And this is just the beginning of it. It gets goofier, I believe, as the sequels go on.
If you can believe that.
This is
Like-
kind of has the like Chucky factor.
It does. That's like what I thought of as soon as I was like done watching this. I was like, this is basically Chucky, like tone wise. So
I think this wanted to be more serious and atmospheric.
it did.
Then like Chucky felt like it knew it was being kind of goofy. This felt like it wanted to do the like, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's in the name, like the dream quality where things are not exactly following logic and Freddy gets to pop out of nowhere because
Right.
you're in a dream.
Right.
But the execution was a little iffy. And I think, again, in 1984, when this is a new concept, I can understand people being like, whoa. But when I watch it now, it's like, oh, God,
Yeah.
this is clumsy.
Yeah, it really shows its age. I guess we could also say Heather Langenkamp
Yeah. Nancy?
as Nancy. She was fine. Nobody really stood out though. I know John Saxon is a big name. He played her father. He was the cop or the sheriff or whatever.
The absentee dad. Is this a movie about absentee dads? Because what's her name? Tina's dad ain't around either.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Think about that. Is Freddy their daddy now?
probably. He's Big Daddy.
Hey, I'm just looking here. Heather Langenkamp, guess what she's in?
What?
came out just a couple days ago.
Let me think.
It's on Netflix. It's Mike Flanagan's new thing, The Midnight Club.
Oh, that came out already?
It just came
I need
out,
to watch that.
Yeah, like yesterday or Thursday, Friday.
Did they drop all the episodes? Great.
I think so. And she's in it. Haven't seen that yet, but I'm excited to watch it.
Cool.
Johnny Depp.
Pre-trial Johnny Depp. Pre-trial Johnny Depp.
Pre everything. Johnny Depp. He wears a nice cut-off belly shirt in the as he dies.
I guess that was the fashion back then.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at old like 80s like football players, they do have the
crop or whatever.
They have the crop happening. Johnny Depp, is he good? I don't know.
No,
but
I mean, he was passable. I mean, he didn't do anything.
You do the Leo DiCaprio at the screen, you're like, that's Johnny Depp, and that's
Right,
about all he's good
right.
for now. Although in the credits, it's like, and introducing Johnny Depp, so I don't know if he was supposed to be a big deal, has been a big deal.
Coda is telling me that was Johnny Depp's first movie, apparently. First star debut. So
Well, why would you?
Age of 16 or something.
Why would you credit him like it's some person you're supposed to know?
well, because I guess maybe they added that years later, because he's a big name actor now. So they're like, ooh, people watch this because Johnny Depp's in it.
Oh, yeah, it's 21 Street. Jump Street is after this.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
3
yeah.
years after this. I thought maybe he was famous on TV and it was like his movie debut, but no, this is like his first role. Yeah.
It was fine. Everybody was fine. There's not much you could do with that script.
One of the things that was working against it, which was not the movie's fault at all, is everybody was yelling for Tina, and all I could think of was, Tina, eat your food.
Tina, you fat lard, come get your dinner.
Tina, come get some casserole. So that kind of broke the movie for me. It's, I don't know what to say about it because I don't like it, and I honestly was just like, I was checking out.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I can say, and this is something I mentioned on our first try of doing this podcast this morning, was that I found the kills to be pretty creative. Some of the like practical effects, I know there was this scene, it was so noticeable to me, but I could see back then where Freddy was like looking through the wall, or he would kind of poke his head through the wall and like the wall would bend to it. It was obviously like a rubber sheet or whatever, or a latex sheet that they put on there. But I thought that shot was pretty interesting. The lighting was cool. The scene where he kills Johnny Depp, full spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen this. I don't recommend you watch this, but do what you want to do. Where Johnny Depp gets pulled into his bed and then blood just starts shooting out. And it was obviously like a upside down shot or whatever, but it was cool. I found that pretty interesting.
That scene's a cool kill. I think the kill for Tina, where Dane's just in the corner freaking out and she's getting like dragged across the ceiling.
I couldn't help but to think of Scary Movie 2. That scene where she's getting fucked on the walls and stuff by the ghost.
Yeah.
So that kind of took me out of it, but it was cool.
That's also a good kill. Although at the very end, how she defeats Freddy made me laugh.
Where she just Home Alones the fuck out of him. Like,
she's like, Freddy, I don't even believe in you. And then the way he lunges and then disappears into like a blue ghost.
Okay, we're going to have to talk about the ending. Because I thought the ending was so fucking stupid. Where at the end where her and her mom walk out the house, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then she gets into the car with Johnny Depp and the rest of her friends, and then the windows start rolling up, and then the hood goes on the top of the convertible, and it's in Freddy's colors of his sweater. It was so bad. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
Well, and they're like, can you believe this fog, huh? Because they're like in like hell or in like nightmare world.
They're in their nightmare world. I was like, so she was dreaming that entire time.
No, I think she died. I don't know.
Shit is stupid.
I think they both died.
And then her mom's like, the dummy mom gets dragged through the
Yeah.
door window. That shit was awful, man.
She gets
my
vacuumed
God.
through like a blow-up doll. It's very funny. It's boring.
It's really boring. Actually, okay, so there was one scene that I thought was the bathtub scene is an iconic scene at this point. Where Freddy reaches his hand through through the water and like he's about to grab her. I think that's a cool shot. You know, it's a good like movie poster shot. But yeah, everything else, I don't know. There's not much to say about this, honestly.
I read somewhere they were gonna make Freddy a pedophile instead of a murderer, and I gotta say, good move on them.
Yes.
I don't
Oh, great.
really in the reboot.
Oh, they went there.
Oh, that's tough because like this franchise can't go that far with like the pedophile guy's not fun. The murderer guy can be fun, but the pedophile guy cannot be fun.
No.
He cannot be your mascot. People can't dress up as Freddy if he's touching kids, man.
Yeah. They're gonna have to alert the neighborhood
Right.
that they're going trick or treating. Like,
Put you on a watch list.
I mean, I will say that I don't know. Freddy was entertaining to watch, but not in a good way.
A lot of the like kills, it's just so like slapstick.
Yeah.
Like I liked how in Scream, how incompetent the killer seemed, but when your killer is supposed to be like this omniscient dream man that can kind of do whatever he wants in the dream world,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird for everything to get so slapstick. Although it was funny at the end when she drags him into the real world. That makes a little more sense for him to be clumsy because he's like, oh shit, my rules
Right.
don't apply here. But it didn't really explain it. But I just thought it was very funny when he like stumbles out of the room and then tumbles over the banister all the way down
Yeah.
to the bottom
Super
floor.
goofy. And then that when he was on fire, that was just awful.
Yeah, and he's on the bed
Yeah. It's bad, man.
with the mom, and then they disappear into the nightmare dimension.
And then the fake Halloween skeleton goes floating into the abyss or whatever, like through the bed. It was so bad, man. It looked like a Halloween, like a Spirit Halloween set or something. It was bad. I was talking to you about this yesterday, where I was like, stop showing your killer and your creature in the first 5 minutes of your film, like full body shots. It's so irritating because it just relieves any type of
tease me a little bit.
yeah. It's just like you're showing his goofy ass face every fucking 5 minutes, and it stops being scary, you know. And I think that's what Friday the 13th got right, I will say. So yeah, this movie sucks. Fuck it, I'm done talking about this shit. Let's move on.
I'm gonna edit in a toilet flushing sound effect.
We need like a perfect movie hell or something, since we got a purgatory like this.
All right, are we sending this into perfect movie hell?
Perfect movie potty.
That's terrible.
I'm thinking something that'll flow a little bit better.
We need to.
We'll think about it. But for now, we're gonna call it perfect movie hell.
Send it to the hell dimension. Send it to the perfect movie nightmare dimension.
Okay.
Send it to the nether realm.
The shadow realm. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't know. Don't watch it. And the music. I hate the music, which is a thing that I like about Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Friday the 13th. We'll talk about the music in a second. Friday the 13th introduces Jason, as we learned from our movie Scream from last week. The killer in the first Friday the 13th. No, it's not Jason. It's his mother, Mrs. Voorhees. So Friday the 13th Part 2 is the first Friday the 13th movie where Jason, her son, is featured as the killer, and he continues to be the killers for the next 11 movies, where he goes to hell, he goes to space, he goes to Manhattan, and he mostly hangs out at Camp Crystal Lake. Halen, what did you think about Friday the 13th Part 2?
I don't want to say I had even less of a fun time with this than Nightmare. I think maybe it's a little bit more enjoyable to watch. It's bad, but it's fine for what it was. This was the early 80s, like 81, I believe this came out.
This felt like it had some schlocky fun. There was some schlocky fun to be had. It was not as Nightmare really wanted to be like a psychological horror, so if you didn't buy into that aspect of it, it was really hard for the rest of it to work. I think this is a little more just like visceral, like put teens on camp, now put murderer next to teens.
Yeah, it's a lot more straightforward. And I think in that aspect, I didn't hate it as much because it did what it came to do. I don't think it came to be the next Citizen Kane or whatever. It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, these I think have started as cheap slashers and slowly became more of a character thing. They kept adding to the character of Jason. Jason doesn't even have his iconic hockey mask in this movie. That doesn't appear until the third Friday the 13th.
Jason was literally just some guy in this. Like, I don't think he was really meant to even be, like, supernatural at first.
No, he's pretty, like, no, he's not supernatural yet. He was
just some deformed, fucked up guy in the woods.
He was a
that
guy
missed his mommy.
Yeah, they could actually like tussle with. It was the fights in this were a lot more like Scream, where it was like just kind of a guy in a mask trying to fuck people up, and
Just
mostly
the dopiest guy. Yeah.
he could get one person if it was like a girl alone or a guy strung up in a tree or something. But as soon as like another grown man is in the room, really trying to like
whoop his ass. Yeah.
it doesn't go cleanly for him, but he still manages to, you know, make it away, and he does take a lot of damage.
He's not like the monstrous tank that he becomes in the sequels.
Eventually he just becomes like just a total demon from hell,
Yeah.
basically, that is untouchable. They put an axe in his head by the end of the third movie, and he just kind of shrugs it off and comes back. So
I found the first scene where he kills the first victim super funny, because after he kills her, he was kind enough to take the kettle off the burner in the beginning. Do you remember this?
what?
He took, so the kettle was whistling at towards the end of the kill, and he like takes it off the burner, like for whatever reason. I just found that really goofy.
He didn't want the house to burn down.
I guess, but I mean, if you're a psychopathic murderer, do you care
Maybe
enough to do that? I don't know.
Let me get in the mind of Jason. Maybe he wants somebody to find his victim. You know?
Well, maybe.
Set you straight.
I always thought that Jason really didn't think about it. He kind of just did it.
No, it does seem like he's kind of just like compulsive. He's not like a planner. He's just like see, murder, kill.
I think my favorite part about this movie was like the cliche teens, because this is like lays the groundwork for so many films, where it's like you have these different types of teens. Like you have the jock or the brave guy who's the leader, and then you have
wheelchair guy.
Yeah, you got some disabled kid, and then you have like the goofball or the geek, and then you have the this is all like Cabin in the Woods. Like Cabin in the Woods lays out this framework for you. Or you have the horny girl or the horny couple. In this case, the horny couples, because everybody's horny in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And then you have the black kid.
Did we?
There was a black kid.
Was he in the party that... Okay, so first of all, let me just... Again, full spoilers. So towards the end, some of them go to town and some of them stay at camp.
Yeah,
and
they go out to drink. Or
and don't some of them never come back in the movie?
Yeah, and that's never explained. They never come back.
Black guy's in that group, right? He never comes back.
He is. And there was an Asian girl in there, too.
Nah, they didn't have lines.
No, they didn't. They were just there.
Tough.
And then it was like, that was super irresponsible of the counselors to take these kids drinking and then just leave the rest of them at the house in the middle of the woods. It's like, that's very irresponsible. It's probably for the best that this happens so y'all can get fucking shut down.
You know, all I could think of was that one red-haired guy was the most fun part of the movie, and he is only in it. He's one of the group that never comes back, and he also looks just like the guy in Ratatouille.
He does. Holy shit, he does.
Exactly.
Actually.
Like they might have modeled him after this guy.
That's funny. Yeah.
It is wild.
And he was a nice guy.
He was the most funny actor.
Yeah.
He had the weirdest... I don't know if he was even acting well, or if he was just a weird guy with weird mannerisms. They were like, yeah, go
just
talk like
be
that.
yourself, basically.
Because a lot of the lines don't even seem like they're hardly written.
No.
It's just like, all right, so we're at the beach. Act like you're having fun at the beach, guys. And they're like,
hey, let's jump in the water.
Let's toss around the pigskin, brother. You know?
It was like, but none of them were bad. I thought the performances were pretty solid for what it was. Like, none of these people were terrible. I think the lead lady, she was fine.
It's for a while. I'm not even sure if there's like who's supposed to be the lead. It kind of comes clear at the end who our final girl is going to be. But it's like she shows up. She literally shows up late.
Yeah, yeah. At first I thought it was going to be the girl that was in the town with the guy who got his car towed. That's who I thought was going to be the lead. But then nothing ever went with that, and she dies. So
There's something simple enough about this movie that I didn't get as, although I don't think it's very good either. I didn't get as agitated about it as I did by Nightmare, just because it keeps the pace up. It lets you have a little fun, and you like know exactly what you're here for. It's like, here's all these teens, Jason's gonna kill them all, and we're gonna give you a new kill like every 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you don't get bored.
The kills suck though.
That's one thing. So they were very like, this was at a time where it seemed like they were really battling with the MPAA about ratings. So like this franchise that I think we associate with like brutal murders, isn't that gory right now? I think it certainly becomes more gory as sequels and sequels and sequels come out. But like this one, the kills are pretty bloodless.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was a big emphasis on like sexuality.
Yes.
And I think that's probably what got it the rating it did.
Well, yes, there's lots of tatas, free and loose.
And bouteilles.
And I think this might be the originator of, well, Friday the 13th might be the originator of the rule that we heard in Scream, never have sex, that you will surely die.
Yeah.
And it's tied into Jason because Jason drowned because the camp counselors were having sex.
So that was the question I was going to ask. Were these movies made to deter kids from having sex? Do you believe that?
No, I think they were made because they thought they could sell kills and booty.
Okay. But then why have that like underlying message, it seems?
I don't think it's an underlying message. I think it's one of those, oh, naughty, like,
Okay.
like, so you know, we're all getting away with something here.
Right.
You know, like we're all in on the secret.
Halloween is a prerequisite for all of those having sex and stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It came out in 78. Friday the 13th Part 1 came out in 80.
Yeah, and part 2 came out
Actually,
81. Yeah.
And the fleeciness of the...
Did somebody die having sex?
Nope, they showed titties in it.
No, I know, but I just mean the trope of you have sex and you die.
And you die, yeah.
I'm sure those babysitters were banging.
They probably were.
No, there was a scene in Halloween, the scene where Michael puts on the bed sheet and pretends like he's the guy or whatever,
yeah.
and because they're about to get it on. So, anyways,
I thought it was very funny when Jason puts a machete through a wheelchair guy, and all of a sudden there's stairs for him to fall down.
he got fucked up too, and I actually felt bad for him because he was like, "I'm not gonna be in this wheelchair forever." I was like, "No, you're not, buddy."
I think he was delusional. I think he was going to be on that wheel. I think he was paralyzed
I felt bad for him though,
from the waist
so.
down.
He seemed like a nice guy.
But whatever ruined his legs also took his ability to take a hint, because that girl wanted his schmeat, and he was not even picking up
She
on
was
it
like,
at all.
"So is everything working?" He was like, "Well, I do okay."
That was after like 2 straight nights of her just like laying it down hard for him, and him being like, oh, this woman wants to play board games with me. Let's do it.
Yeah. Nice guys finish last, right?
I guess.
For It's an Art, bro. I guess the killer cam was a little interesting, where it kind of shows from Jason's perspective of him like stalking people. It's been done before, so it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything. Like Halloween did that way before, but I don't know. From an artistic perspective,
I do
guess it was
think generally the kill scenes, even though like the kills don't get to be very gory, a lot of the time it's like effectively a little tense about, especially at the beginning, because there's lots of fake outs where there's not a kill. They do quite a few fake outs in them, as well as a couple kills in the beginning.
Yeah.
So at the beginning you're never quite sure like when somebody's really in danger or when the movie's just tricking you.
I actually found the final confrontation to be pretty tense for the most part, where she's just kind of running through the camp and he's just after her ass and you don't know where he's at, and like he's coming out of bushes, he's everywhere. He obviously knows the landscape, and found that pretty tense because there's like a realism feel to it, where this guy, he was just a guy, and we always talk about how that's scarier than the shit that goes bump in the night, you know what I mean? I don't know. I could see people being entertained by this for the time, and yeah.
What I will say is I think as opposed to Nightmare, I felt like the score was a huge detriment. Maybe it was cutting edge at the time, but now it just feels like grating and doesn't convey the mood that I think it's trying to. I think the score in this is actually really good. I mean, everybody knows the like everybody knows that. But in addition to that, it's like a very classical, like old Hollywood type of score with lots of like you think of like Psycho and like music and movies like that, where there's like the really high pitched strings once like the violence starts happening, and it just kind of makes your skin crawl. And I think that also adds to like, I don't know if the filmmaking's particularly skillfully done or any of the acting or any of the action, but also when you combine it with like a really good score, it just kind of elevates everything.
They did an homage to Psycho in the beginning when she was in the shower, and you're like anticipating something bad to happen to her in the shower, and then she just gets out. I thought that was a nice little fake out for the audience for that time. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about Friday. It was fine. It was better than Nightmare by a little bit. This one is sitting at a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's why you can't trust, especially for like old things. You just can't trust Rotten Tomatoes.
No.
I don't know. We're probably in the minority. There's probably somebody out there punching the air.
Yeah, somebody would slander the shit out of us for saying this, but
you know what? I feel how I feel, and I can't fake it for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, if it was executed better, like Chucky, because I feel like Chucky had an interesting concept. I feel like Nightmare also has an interesting concept. If it was executed a little better, they didn't show Freddy right away, I think it could have been a much better film overall, but yeah, it didn't do it for me.
All right, lightning round. Let's name Johnny Depp things. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Willy Wonka.
Alice in Wonderland.
Public Enemy.
Edward Scissorhands.
The Heard and Johnny Depp.
The soon-to-be-released documentary. You might also know him for screaming at Amber Heard.
Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber.
Ed Wood.
What else is this motherfucker?
Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest.
Pirates of the Caribbean 3, World's End. Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, shit. All right. I think that's enough.
Yeah. These movies.
This is a disappointing podcast for disappointing movies. I think we'll do better next week. I know we got two good moves next week.
Which is crazy because I watched Hellraiser yesterday too, and it was leagues better.
You want to tell me about Hellraiser?
Hellraiser was pretty good. Some solid acting from a fairly unknown cast. The effects were cool. The costumes for the Cenobites were cool. Have you seen the first Hellraiser? You should watch that. Yeah, Hellraiser was cool. Go watch Hellraiser. It's on Hulu.
Hey, if you want to watch a horror thing, it's not really a horror thing. Watch Midnight Mass on Netflix. It's mostly about being sad and thinking about death.
Mopey Whites.
It's a Mopey Whites Learn Lessons movie, but it's not the lesson that you think.
No, it's not. It subverts your expectations.
Yep.
I really want to watch Midnight Club. Probably do that when I get home. Has it gotten good reviews? Have you seen anything?
I have no idea. I'm just very hesitant about teens. I mean, it feels like a different thing. It feels like one of those teeny horror things.
The way it was filmed looked kind of funny. It looked very like Disney Channel-esque when I watched the trailer for it.
Looks like Goosebumps live action or something.
But I mean, if it's executed well, and I'm Mike Flanagan, he's great. So, did he produce this or direct it?
He's like lead writer, producer, showrunner, but only directs like 2 of the 6 or 8 episodes.
Okay. Well, if he's a lead writer, then I have high expectations for it. But expect disappointment, and you won't be disappointed. That's something I've learned in this day and age.
Yeah, don't expect much.
Which is funny because I expected to be entertained watching
Right.
these movies.
And I wasn't. Friday I wasn't that mad at.
So what are we doing next?
All
and we
right.
can comfortably say that these are not perfect movies, so fuck them.
Yeah. Is it now we come to the question, is this a perfect movie?
You lost a baby brother. Perfect in every way.
I had a baby brother. I had a little baby brother. And he was perfect. Perfect in every way.
No.
No.
God, no.
Absolutely not. Okay. So next up we have Event Horizon and Alien.
That should be...
Spookies
be
in
fun.
space.
Yes.
We have at least one classic and one...
Cult classic.
Yeah, shall we call it a cult classic?
Should be fun because I know Event Horizon kind of fucked me up when I watched it. I know it did the same for you, so
Yes.
I don't know if it'll hold up, but we'll see.
Yep.
Michael's not feeling it today.
Look, guys, these all can't be home runs.
No, they can't.
You know,
And this is why we do this. I mean, this is the point of the show. It's to find the perfect
You know-
movie, and you got to have some duds, man.
the real ones have to sift through the trash to get to the treasure. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes. So hopefully,
Sometimes you gotta watch a movie and you gotta realize it's a dud. And sometimes you watch 2 movies and you realize they're a dud. And someday we might even watch 3 movies in a row. And we think they all suck. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get up again. We're gonna take up that podcasting mantle. We're gonna say, y'all can't get us down.
we're going to keep
We're
searching.
gonna rise up again.
Because, goddamn it, I do not want to get probed. I
Like-
don't know about you, Mike.
Pittsburgh Steelers head coach says the standard is the standard. And our standard is we're gonna watch these fucking movies. All right?
We're doing this so you don't have to.
Exactly. So if you want to thank me personally, feel free. I will leave my my Cash App in the comments.
You really ask for money? You had to throw that in real quick.
Look, it's tough times. It's tough times.
These movies suck. Send us money.
Help us. What if it was plot twist? We're not trying to do this so that we have a list for the aliens. What if we're already trapped by the aliens and we have to show them a perfect movie to escape?
That's definitely what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah. We're in a spaceship right now.
We need to do like, you know how Mystery Science Theater 3000 had like the intro things where they were on the spaceship just talking to each other?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We need to do a wraparound skit about us being trapped in
You know,
aliens.
it would be fun to do a commentary track sometime.
Yeah.
It would be fun to do. We just rip on a shitty movie. Maybe we'll do that when our no good movie November.
Yeah.
Or something.
But we got to get good bad, not just like boring bad.
Yes.
These were boring bad.
Holy shit.
Good bad. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean.
Anyways, hope you guys stay spooky.
Spooky.
Get ready for that Halloween finale.
Yes. I'd say Hereditary and Conjuring.
Okay.
And then Halloween and Halloween
Ends.
ends.
Maybe
That's
not.
fucking likely. They'll be back.
They're going to just reboot it.
It'll just say Halloween again, and it'll be like the 3rd Halloween called Halloween.
I hate life. Everything sucks.
Life is misery. Okay, bye.